Blair and Amy, take it away.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining our Walk MS workshop. Um, I guess we'll send this out afterwards. Christina, are you taking care of that? Thank you. I'm Amy Sisto, and I just happen to have my husband Anthony here, who also lives with MS. I am the development specialist for Walk MS, the Pennsylvania Keystone chapter. And as I say this out loud, if I cut out in mid-sentence, I hear claps of thunder. We're getting hammered with, I guess, Fred remnants. So if anyone wonders, I know a lot of us in this area are getting hit with thunder. So I'd also like to introduce some of our Mid-Atlantic team staff members joining us tonight. I don't know if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, or should I?
I mean, I can start. I'm Christina. I am the development specialist, and I cover Maryland, DC, Virginia, and West Virginia.
I'll jump in. I am Claire Lorio, the manager for Walk MS for Virginia, West Virginia. Jeanette, I saw you just pop in, so glad you could make it.
Hello. I am Kelly Tapper. I'm the development specialist for Walk MS, also in the Pennsylvania Keystone chapter, but I'm in Pittsburgh.
You're on mute, Vince.
Hi, everyone. I've only, been using Teams for what, 2 years now. I'm Vince Fiducia. I'm Director Walk MS for Maryland, DC, Virginia, and West Virginia. So welcome, everyone.
Hi, I'm Mary Carabella, Senior Director for the Mid-Atlantic team, and I sit in Kentucky, just south of Cincinnati.
I think we got everyone, right? Oh, Emily's on here. Emily, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Emily. I work with Healthcare Access in the DC, Virginia, Maryland, and West Virginia area. And I'll be talking a little bit later about what I do.
Awesome, thank you.
We can also, Libby, if you want to introduce yourself real fast too.
Sure, I'm Libby. I'm a volunteer specialist. I'm in the Washington, D.C. office. I oversee volunteering in Northern Virginia, Maryland, D.C., and Delaware.
Very cool. Thank you, guys. So here's some meeting best practices. Check your internet speed. I don't know if I even know how to do that. I mean, usually I bug Anthony to help me do that, so I don't know what to tell you guys there. But turn on your camera. We want to see your faces. I know it might be a little difficult since we have the slides show up to see some of us, but I don't know. It's always great to connect a face with the name and with the voice. Try to stay muted when not speaking. So when I'm not speaking, I will mute so you don't hear the birds singing. Sit in a well-lit and quiet space. I didn't do well there either. Be mindful of your surroundings. Yeah. So using Microsoft Teams. So depending on whether you're joining from your browser or your Teams, like if you have the desktop app, there's a few button options you'll see at the top of or the bottom of your screen. So take a look there and see if that matches with what you see. And if there's any questions or if you aren't sure how to navigate something, just ask one of us, put it in the chat, or go ahead and ask a question. Feel free. So if you want to go to the next slide, Megan, the icons are a little easier to see here. They're closer up on that one. If you're having any, again, if you're having any trouble, just let us know. These are this is the fun part. The raise hand or the emoji. So your raise hand, if you raise your hand, it'll stay raised. Do that anytime, but we're pretty cool if you guys just want to unmute and ask a question, or if you have like an anecdote to add in. But I like the emojis. I don't know, they make me feel happy. And then the next thing is we wanted to load all of our sponsors here, and we can kind of just breeze through some of these. there's local sponsors. Big shout out to our national sponsors. These are the guys that help us, fund everything and support us. And we couldn't do what we do or be here without, these guys' support. It's means the world to us all.
Alrighty, so we're going to get into today's presentation. Again, we are so excited to have a big group of people to come and speak about different aspects of the society, as we've been kind of doing all summer, and just showing how much of an impact that you guys are doing, being a part of Walk MS and all the other things that you can be involved with. So first up, we have Emily Riley, our Healthcare Provider Engagement Manager. So Emily, we are so excited that you're joining us today. I just want to give everybody a little bit of background. Emily has worked for the National Multiple Sclerosis Society as the Healthcare Provider Engagement Manager since 2019. She is a certified group fitness instructor and a certified personal trainer with over 6 years of experience creating and training adaptive fitness classes for those living with MS. The MS community is near and dear to Emily since she herself was diagnosed with MS at the age of 17. She refused to let that diagnosis stop her from pursuing her after her goals, dreams, and strives to help empower others living with MS to do the same. Her motto is, no matter what your limitation, you can always keep moving. So thank you so much, Emily. We're so excited, and take it away.
Awesome. Well, hello, everybody. I'm coming to you from my car, busy life. But like she said, I'm the Healthcare Provider Engagement Manager for the National MS Society. And I've worked for the society for a little over 2 years. So I just wanted to kind of come and share a little bit about my role, like what I do, and then just some of the experiences that I've had being a part of just some of the society's events and programs. So as a healthcare provider engagement manager, my role is to be kind of the liaison between healthcare providers and the society. So I provide resources and information for healthcare providers who manage patients living with MS. So that can include neurologists, rehab, mental health, nurses, a ton of different people who should be on your comprehensive care team, because as we all know, MS affects us in so many different aspects of life, and so it's important to be surrounded by that team that can help manage all those specific things. And so I provide them information for them professionally, so that can be through continuing education courses to make sure that they're up to date on the latest information, so that they can best take care of you and know the latest information on maybe it's COVID vaccine information to new disease modifying therapies. And so I'll do in-services, I'll go in and do presentations just to make sure they know what we have available. But then I also make sure that they have the information and resources for patients. So making sure that they've got maybe brochures, that they're familiar with the MS Navigator program, and some of the healthcare providers that are what we consider partners in MS care, people who have expertise with MS, that they can actually make referrals on a patient's behalf to make sure that they're getting the services and resources for them, which is really great. Another aspect of my job that I really love doing is getting to work with medical students. It's really important to make sure we are equipping the next generation of medical students to not only be familiar with, specializing in neurology, but then also specializing in MS. And so we offer opportunities for medical students to be able to work alongside some of our MS specialists across the country to work with them, whether that's in person or virtually, which has been the last couple of years, to work alongside them and really see what does it look like to have a career in MS, and really encourage them to pursue after that, which has been really fun part of my job. And so that's a little bit about my role. Obviously, what's super helpful for those of you who are on the call, to let your point of contact, whether that's Christina or Samantha or Vince or whoever on the call, who your neurologist is, because here in the DC, Virginia, Maryland area, there are over 1 million people living with MS, which means there's a lot of maybe general neurologists who might not be considered like an MS specialist, who we still want to be connected to and make sure that they have information. So we'd love to know who your neurologist is to make sure that they're connected to us and that they're getting the most up-to-date information from us. Also, another thing that I'm doing in October is that I have a council of people who of healthcare providers of all different disciplines, and we create projects to make sure that we're filling areas of need in the area. And one of those is making sure that rehab professionals understand the difference between working with MS patients and working with neurologic conditions. And so we actually have a continuing education course for rehab professionals for occupational, speech, and physical therapy happening in October. So if maybe you see a PT or an OT or an ST and you think maybe they might be interested in coming to that course, it's virtual, you can let me know who I should send the information to. So that's just some little pieces maybe where you can, help partner with me to make sure that all the providers in the area know how to take care of people living with MS. One of the things Christina had asked me to share is my experience with the kids camp. So as we all know, MS doesn't just affect us personally, but it affects the people in our family. And for those who are parents living with MS, your kiddos have an opportunity to participate in what's called the MS Kids Camp. And what's a really crazy small world story is about 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago, I worked as a volunteer in Dallas for the kids camp there and actually met my husband at the camp. And so fast forward many years, we actually worked at the camp most recently in Pennsylvania a couple of years ago. And it's a camp specifically for kids whose parents live with MS. So they get to interact with other kids who also have parents who deal with the different symptoms. And so they can really bond with other people who understand what it's like to live with a parent with MS. And so it's just a really great opportunity for them to learn from healthcare providers and like let them try different symptoms on like blurry goggles or weighted shoes to feel like what are some of these symptoms that my mom or my dad might feel. And so just a really great opportunity for kids to get an opportunity to meet other ones and then for parents to have a bit of a break too. So there's the link in the chat if you want to learn more about it. So that is a little bit about my role and some of the experiences that I've had. I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have, but I'm really honored to be a part of this call. I've been doing MS Walk since my diagnosis in 2005. So thank you for participating.
Oh, this is great, Emily. Thank you so much. I also know that, and if hope you're okay with sharing this, some of the programs you do yourself with the Slim and Sassy. Can you speak a little bit about them just to share? And I'll throw the links in the chat too so people can interact if they're interested and all that good stuff.
Sure. Thank you so much for that plug. So like she'd mentioned, when I was diagnosed at such a young age, I went on to play college soccer, and I realized that staying active was super important for me. And I wanted to be able to share that with people living with MS that, you know what, no matter what your limitation, you can keep moving and we can, and so making modifications to exercise classes just kind of became a desire of mine. And so I became a group fitness instructor and personal trainer. And so I've been teaching adaptive fitness classes, and I teach live classes every week for free. It's for women only. So sorry, he's Amy's husband. But I have tons of videos online that you can access. But anyways, I teach fitness classes for free, and it's on this Facebook group called Slim and Sassy, and literally there's no loopholes, I promise. But I teach a seated and standing class. So depending on maybe some days we just don't have the energy to be able to stand, you can do the whole workout seated or a combination of seated and standing. So I try to incorporate all the different exercises that are found to be safe and effective for people living with MS based off of research that we recently published. So that's cardio, strength, core, hand-eye coordination, things like that. So I'd love for you to join me. You can always find my videos on YouTube. And then there's another really cool opportunity coming up in October that I'll just plug. It's something that the society supports. There's another foundation called MS Hopes Foundation, and they're doing a full month of a free wellness challenge where you get access to exercise videos of, like, if you know anything about the MS influencer space, like Gretchen Holly, who's an MS PT, she'll be teaching classes like yoga, meditation, nutrition, lots of different things. So there's a lot of really great resources out there. And so I'd encourage you to just check it out because staying active is really important and helpful. And we want to make sure that you have access to those resources. So hopefully that answers your question.
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any other questions at this time? We'll also have some time at the end too, but I figured just ask if anybody's got anything about Emily, what she does, the kids camp, which is super cute. I love that there's a place where they can all go. I know they've been virtual for the last 2 years, so I'm sure they're eager to get back together and have some fun. But if
Yeah,
not,
we did have a question in the chat. Merle was asking for the web address for the workout programs. Merle, which programs? I know Emily was talking about a couple of different ones.
Talking about where we're standing and seated.
Yeah, so in the chat, I think Christina might have put it. It's a Facebook group called Slim and Sassy. And so that's where that is, or you can look up my YouTube channel where all the recorded videos are. There's a seated total playlist. There's like, I don't know, 50 videos or something. And then also, if you go to bigoctober.org, that's where you will be able to register for the October full month of wellness things. You can also find some videos on YouTube on the National MS Society's YouTube channel, just some exercise demonstrations for stretching, breathing, and aerobic exercise for people with MS too.
Merle, I just emailed you the Facebook link, so you should have it.
and I will also email all of this out too, so that everybody has it after the fact. So have no fear. Alrighty, let's welcome our next guest. Libby, we are so excited to also have you. Libby McClayton has worked as a volunteer specialist for the MS Society since August of 2018. She currently recruits and engaged volunteers in Maryland, DC, Northern Virginia, and Delaware, but also recruited and engaged volunteers in upstate New York. She became with the society because both of her friends and have family living with MS. In her spare time, Libby enjoys teaching, practicing yoga, and cooking new vegan recipes. Thank you, Libby, so much. It is your time to take it away.
Sure, Christina. Thank you for having me. So today I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I do as a volunteer engagement specialist here at the Society, how I recruit volunteers, examples of some opportunities that we have coming up, and also how do you get involved as a volunteer. So a little bit about what I do in a nutshell. I recruit volunteers and I also engage them, making sure that if it's a event, for instance, that, they're staying engaged, they're being involved, they're getting into it, making sure they're having a good time. And I also recognize volunteers. Sometimes that's with awards, sometimes that's with email. And I also like to get feedback from volunteers. So I'll send out surveys to see where we could use some improvements, what went well, etc. And a little bit about how I do recruitment for volunteers. So I would say a lot of our volunteers are returning volunteers. They've been volunteering with us for a while now. But we also get new volunteers every year. Some are students, some are from our corporate groups, some are from health agencies like physical therapy and neurologists, etc. Some are just individuals that are in some way impacted by MS. So there's a lot of there's a big volunteer pool that we have here. I use a site called Volunteer Match. Some of you might have used it before, and you can just post listings for different opportunities as they come up. And that's been a helpful tool for me as well for reaching out to new volunteers. And then with regard to volunteer opportunities, so right now we have both virtual and in-person volunteering. Virtual volunteers help with numerous things. For instance, for Walk MS, we had volunteers call participants who had lapsed to sign up for this past year's walk, or we also give periodic incentives. So we call and let the participants know what incentives are coming up. There's also the MS Activist Network, and that's getting volunteers to sign up to help promote specific issues. So we don't have a political stance, but we do take stands on particular issues such as like controlling drug prices, affordable healthcare, etc. That all benefit people living with MS. Those are just a couple of our virtual volunteer opportunities. We do have some that involve a little more fundraising. So the Amazon Smile program, anytime you buy anything on Amazon, you can set it up to give a little bit of money to the National MS Society. I think it's about 0.5%, and a little definitely goes a long way. And the next thing I was going to mention is our in-person events. So you all are familiar with Walk MS, which was virtual last year, or not gathering in person rather. And we also have Bike MS. That's what's going on now. And we have opportunities throughout the country to either volunteer at rest stops, cheer on people at the spirit team, check people in, and just kind of promote that really nice atmosphere. And I'm just going to give a quick anecdote of a volunteer that she actually volunteered to make Walk MS phone calls for us in the spring. She was a college student in Illinois, but she ended up actually signing up to do the walk in Illinois as a result of doing these calls for the Maryland market. So it's great to see how volunteers continue to stay involved throughout the country. And then my next piece is how can we get involved? So there's specialists throughout the region that can help you. Like Christina said before, I oversee volunteers in Maryland, DC, Northern Virginia, and Delaware. Sam Diaz, she oversees volunteers throughout Pennsylvania. Sarah Chrisman does Virginia and West Virginia, and Christy Evangelista does volunteers in Ohio. And you can just reach out to the person that is in your area. And if I personally, I like to do a little bit of getting to know the volunteer to see what they're interested in. It's not like an interview or anything formal. It's just to kind of see what volunteer opportunities you'd like. So I make sure I send you the right ones. So that's basically all I had with regard to volunteering. Does anybody have any questions?
This was great. We actually just saw somebody said that they just signed up to volunteer for Bike MS. So we're very excited. But yeah, no, if anyone has questions, go ahead. Again, we'll have a little bit of time at the end too, if something pops up later. I did put in the chat the link to find volunteer opportunities near you. That way people can type in their zip code and see what pops up as well. But no, this was great, Libby. Thank you so much for sharing your volunteer side and everything you guys are doing, because it helps keep us being a well-oiled machine.
Definitely. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So our last group of speakers is our lovely and very own Amy and her husband, Anthony. Thank you guys so much for joining us. So excited to have you guys here. Go ahead and just share your story with everybody.
So a lot of people always ask if I met him at the MS Society, since he lives with MS, but the truth is that we met years before that. And looking back, we could see some of the symptoms before that, but we were newly married when he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So his diagnosing symptom was optic neuritis. And I don't know, that was a really scary time for us. So going through that as a newly married couple, we had 1 year? Was it like a year and a half after?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, is this, like, we're newly married, is his diagnosis gonna end my marriage? And we just got married. It was really scary. And I remember, he wasn't doing well on treatment. And I remember sitting one night and Googling just online, like, I need something to do. Like, he wasn't feeling well and I couldn't figure out how to help my husband. So you see, I'm the kind of person that, like, when you're sick, I want to make you chicken noodle soup. Like, I want to help you I want to make you feel better, but I can't always do that when my husband has multiple sclerosis. So, I stumbled across Walk MS and I signed up as a participant. This was years before I was a staff member. So I don't know. I remember walking onto that first Walk MS event and just feeling like I didn't need to, explain what we were going through, explain how we felt, and everyone there kind of understood.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed on January 11th, 2011. So it's very easy to remember my diagnosis date. It's all ones. But about a year after that, we were still struggling with my diagnosis. Amy found Walk MS, and she called us the A team because when we were dating, she's Amy, I'm Anthony. Both the names start with A. I know it's very clever, but we were the A team. And we went out that first year in 2012 to Hershey to the walk, and just it was overwhelming. It was emotional because seeing all the people out there that were out there for the same cause, the same reason as we were, the community. That's what really struck us. And it was a rainy, dreary day. And I remember thinking a lot of people aren't going to come out because it's raining, but people came out. I'm sure not as many people came out if it wasn't raining, but there was still a good group of people. And just looking around, seeing everybody there that was supporting each other was a really good experience and really gave us that sense of community that we needed because we had so many questions and so little answers, as you do when you're first diagnosed. And we've been doing the walk for,
We'll do that math.
it'll be 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't ask me. It's too late in the day.
Yeah. But yeah, we got until recently. Obviously, we haven't been able to go out to the walk, but we do our own walk this year.
Yeah.
Virtual.
Yeah, around the neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's really a good experience and recommend it to anybody once the walks are in person again. But it really helped us to come to terms with things and to just get that sense of community that we needed and support. And speaking of support, about 3 years ago, we started our own support group. 3 years ago?
I think it was, yeah, 3 years ago.
So we meet on the second Tuesday of every month at a Perkins in Harrisburg.
Yes.
And obviously, for the past year or so, we haven't met in person. We've been doing virtual meetings, but we're hoping to get up soon with the live meetings, maybe the next few months.
Yeah, we go on vacation next month, so that's out.
Yeah. But yeah, we always open it up to everybody's welcome. MS or not, I know somebody with MS who needs support. We always leave it open for everybody, and we've met some really good people.
Yeah.
Our support group made some good friends. It's another good experience. And some nights are lighter than others. People get busy. Sometimes it's only us sitting there, eating food and talking. But we usually get a good turnout and a lot of good people.
I think the thing that struck me the most was that going to the walk every year, and sometimes it's like, oh, I've been meaning to like check in with so and so, see how they're doing, but I haven't seen you since walk last year. Like, that kind of sucks. So I wanted a way, and this is before I even knew about the support group program. It was a way for me to, figure out, okay, I can invite like all my MS family and we can support each other. Because honestly, like, I started the support group as a support group leader because I'm pretty darn supportive, but at the same time, I kind of wanted a little support myself. I mean, I still struggle. He's been diagnosed over 10 years now, and it doesn't really get any easier. So that's where I guess I've always believed in the we are stronger together. You see that in all aspects of the MS society, that I still wouldn't be doing this, and I wouldn't be a staff member if I didn't feel like I always had all the support of the MS society as a whole. Anything else you want to add?
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yep.
It's kind of late in the day for this semester, I guess.
Yeah. Winding down.
But I don't know. We kind of delve into all aspects of the MS society, and there for anyone who needs it, or there to also receive support, because I mean, sometimes as MS acts up, especially in the summer, you know, you guys get hot, and it's sometimes I don't get a husband that day, and that really sucks. But if you guys are interested in starting a support group or joining one, Christina put the link in the chat, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had, honestly.
That's so sweet, guys. And I can speak to Amy too. One of my best friend was diagnosed with MS last year, and talked to Amy. She reached right out, and they connected. And I think just having that warm and fuzzy person to greet you when you're so confused and it's such an unknown, regardless if you're a friend, if you have MS, it's just a nice place, you know, to call a little MS home. You know, it's really nice what they've done. And I know for Amy, coming as the wife of the support group leader, has that helped you navigate this journey with Anthony any differently? Has it been easier?
I think it's given me that moment to pause and rethink a situation before I just act. I remember early years after his diagnosis, just the littlest thing, whether it was trying to get access to medication he needed, horsing around with health insurance. I mean, you guys know how it is. Like, it's a pain to get it all sorted out, and he wasn't stable. So going through the training for the support group program, being a support group leader, and seeing so many different people in so many stages of their MS journey has been humbling, and has taught me to, I can take a minute to breathe. I don't have to fix everything right away, but it has taught me that.
I love that. I think that's great. And does anyone have any questions for Amy and Anthony about support groups or their own journey? We've had a lot of MS love in this group tonight. Oop, we've got somebody's hand raised. You can unmute yourself. I don't want to.
Hey, sorry, yeah, just want to jump in. I have a question probably for Amy. So I'm in New Jersey, and I am a support partner. My husband has MS. And I've tried to get into different groups, but the groups around me seem to meet like during the day, and I'm still working kind of a 9-to-5 job. So would it make sense to look into starting a group for people that maybe needed to meet at a different time? Or is there I don't want to split anything that's already kind of going on, and I don't have any experience because I haven't been into too many groups. So I'm just not really sure if that makes sense.
Personally, before I ask any of my colleagues to chime in, I'll say that having another support group, another option for anyone affected by MS is always a good thing. I mean, I'll never say it's not, but for me, there's the local neurology center here. It's like right down the street from where we meet, but they want to meet in the middle of the day. And I honestly think that's a really good option. You know, so we meet at night because I'm like, when we're both done with work, that's when we have time. But to have that other option for wherever people are, yeah. Megan, pray no work after 6. It is hard. So for me, I supported the local neurology center to have the midday one because it felt like I know there's a bunch of even people that we're close with living with MS that don't come to our support group because by the end of the day, it's a no. it's I'm going to bed and that's it. So a lot of times I just meet or I hear from them via email, text, how you doing? I send them info, but they don't really get to chat with me or chat with us as a group. But if anyone else has any info, any of my colleagues that want to chime in, go ahead.
What I can say is that if you are interested in starting a support group, they have a lot of really great resources and toolkits for you. Because as Amy knows, like there's training required, but I think sometimes being able to provide, like, whether it's for great people, young people, like sometimes doing this where you're kind of in the same stage of life is sometimes helpful. I know that there's some like younger people, and sometimes a support group can kind of have a bit of a weird connotation too. So even renaming it as like happy hour or, you know, whatever. So, but at the end of the day, I think Amy and Anthony can, like, there's something really special about being able to be in the same room with people who understand. That's like, there's so much power to that. And so good for you for wanting to be there, because I think that's super important for him.
Nothing replaces that feeling. Emily's exactly right. I mean, that's how we felt about walk, and that's why we immerse ourselves in the MS society. There's just nothing replaces that.
Renee, I will say that I think a lot of times the support groups are specifically for people living with MS. Care partners are invited. But I think having an opportunity for people who are care partners, you might find that becomes the unique niche for you, that your experience with this is very different than your husband's. So it is, you may find that after work works for people and they were looking for something, but you may just find that it becomes a very unique group of people who are care partners and y'all just need something different. But I would actually urge you to connect with us, and let's get you those resources to see if it's something you want to start. I personally, I believe that there can't be enough. When people reach out to me and they're looking for one, I tell them, don't just go to the one that's closest to home. Interview, go to several of them, find the one that feels right. Don't just, oh, that one's right down the street and it happens to work because of this time. It may not be the one that's right for you. You kind of have to treat them like your doctors and find the one that works for you. So I thoroughly encourage you to look into what it might take to go through that training and use those resources.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I like that support partner one. That kind of feels like it sort of hits the mark a little bit more. I like that. Thank you.
Sure.
I know Lauren B has a question. You're muted if you're.
I tried unmuting you, Lauren, but you're self-muted. Look for the microphone icon. Or if you want, you can type it in the chat too.
It should be. I wish they gave us the ability to unmute people.
Yeah.
Let me see. Is there anything you see with like a microphone with a slash through it? Let's see. Don't know what it looks like on a phone. It's like the one part of the slide we didn't have. Let me see if we can get this. If I can try to do it. I'm attempting to see disable mic.
Oh, wait, maybe I got it.
Oh, you got it, you got it, you got it, yes.
Okay, I know how to use meetings on the computer, but I decided to do my phone so that I could kind of be a little bit more like comfortable. I have seen the screen and not seen the screen, and seen the chat and not seen the chat. I also am from New Jersey and I have MS, and I have kind of my
my support groups, I guess, are not with the society, but like we had tried to stay in touch through all of the pandemic and virtual stuff, but it was the same thing. I was, homeschooling, and I couldn't make the daytime meetings. I didn't know anybody with an evening meeting. I don't feel any support from my doctors at the moment. I fell not long after the walk, so I'm hoping everything gets emailed out so that I can get resources, like to get into a support group of some sort.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, no, we'll make sure we get you all of that. And I do know MF's navigators can help through phone and chat to find out like local support groups, but I'll make sure you guys get all those links to figure out all the good stuff. There is also a like doctors and resources page that we have where you can also like type in if you needed something beyond, a support group, if you need a neurologist or whatever the case may be. So I'll make sure to include all that stuff for you, just to make it nice and easy in one happy little place versus everywhere else.
Thanks.
But no, and I know Meryl had put in here about having a Saturday morning coffee support group too, which sounds lovely. Just to wake up, relax, go chit chat with people after a long week.
Yeah,
Still just a work one.
It involves coffee, Claire's in.
You know me well.
Yes.
Eat all the good stuff. Does anyone else have any questions for our lovely panelist? All right. Well, if anybody thinks of anything, feel free to email any of us. We're always happy to offer any suggestions, links, and all that good stuff. I just want to thank everybody again this year for everything you guys have done. We are incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. We're thank you for our sponsors and everything, because we need everybody to do this together. I hope you guys have enjoyed our little impact series to just see different aspects of the society. Again, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the days or the rest of this summer. Fall is not too far away from us, which just means Walk 2022 is around the corner. So we're all excited for next year. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. This stuff will get emailed out just by the end of this week. So have no fear. And I hope you have a good night, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.